Hi, this is Christina Nugent. Welcome to Tom's Trading Room. I'm going to call it the Trading Toolbox. What you're looking at is the main menu as of this recording. And what it has is some key areas of trying to access very quick information to give you some results. What I want to do is spend some time navigating through using the different drop downs of where I tend to live the most. So I think it's important that you get a sense of that information, and I'd also like to set up general settings with you as well. So under general settings, there are both, under settings there's both general and search settings. I'll start with search settings for just a minute. Search settings allows you, based on what you set up here, to provide specific information. The defaults here are pretty good. The recommended savings that are out there for you, again, are good. But sometimes you want to see both the upside and downside break-even. Sometimes you're interested in looking at, I like to see on directional opportunities, the bullish and bearish percent to double. Or to half. I think that's important. And if you want to see some of the Greek information, that's out there as well. So this is where you can go in and see what are the most odds that you're looking to choose. As far as maximum is a 50-to-1 reward to risk scenario. And then if you want to save the changes, then you just hit save. Different parameters should be set up differently for the different strategies, but wanted to just let you know that that was out there for you to look at. General settings are more static. I want to look at, what are the rankings that you prefer, and know that there's classic settings that you can click and it'll change it. Modern settings will also make this a modern view, but let's start by clicking classic settings. So under classic settings, what I'm seeing is the list that normally comes up is cheap. If you tend to do more selling, that's when you want to use more expensive options to be able to navigate. And I do like to be more of a net seller than buyer. The favorite list, the default list that you're going to have is usually my stock list. It's all fine. These items are fine as well. Open, high, low, close. If you prefer candlesticks, you can. Much prefer modern view over classic view. So setting that up. Actually, from classic settings, I can just click on modern view. So when I click on modern view, expensive comes up. It does show candles, but I prefer open, high, low, close. Again, it's your preference, but if you want it to look like mine, that's what you're going to set up. Implied volatility graph, I'd like to see that. It lives below the risk graph. If that's too much information, you can turn that off. Auto scale, I'm going to turn that on for a bit and see how that looks. That's a newer feature. What's the auto scale percentage that I want to look? Is it 50% of the stock activity? Let's take a look at 25%. Page breaks will automatically be on. You can actually set that as off if you like as well. Do you want to see all three quotes or just the mid price only? I tend to like just seeing the mid price. There are good conversation pieces for having all three, but again, it adds a bit of clutter to the view, so I'm going to leave it at mid quote. My default risk graph is 2. I do like to see the probabilities, but it's related more for credit spreads, at the money condors, and at the money butterflies. You can enter your correct email address in here. That's just a placeholder for me. And then you can see all the other items here are set up just fine. If you are more interested in date format, if you are looking at a different version, you can change that here. I'm just going to leave it in this format. Default folder, it honestly just depends, so I'm not going to focus on that. What's your default stock symbol? SPY I use more than any of the Dow indicators. And this is where on the risk graph view, I had it set up with first and second standard deviation bands Right now it's going to IV and Bollinger Band, so it depends on, what you prefer to take a look at. So I don't mind looking at first and second standard deviation bands and Bollinger Band. Medium side is fine. Once you set that up, you've saved it and you're good to go. So that's general settings. Now, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time at looking at the overall tools and where are the areas that I end up going the most. I spend a lot of times in the option chain itself. If you look at some of the other recordings, you'll find information about option chain. When I want to go in and filter for specific type of candidates, there are two different places to go. Stocks under stock rankers and stock analysis. I do earnings effects here. I do gyration as well. Stock rankers, you have channel finder, which is just a one-step more sophisticated version of gyration finder that I tend to use as well. If I'm looking for directional opportunities, I do like to look at MACD as well. And then when I'm going in and I'm actually wanting to do more list analysis, I will go in and filter lists. And this is a really important one that I like to use, is I want to make sure to minimize my slippage. So one of the things that I want you to realize is you can't break anything in here. You can quickly get to any one particular spot. There are some great tools in there in darknet signals, which allows you to, based on the date, and I am back on the date of September 17th, 2015, it tells you your buys and sell signals that are out there for you to consider. I really like this and is worth some additional recordings. Just ask for them and we'll give them to you. But at the end of the day, just starting with Tom Tools and saying, all right, I can use some of these immediate searches, or I can go in and quickly find what I'm looking for through the drop down. Looking at risk graphs, your saved risk graphs you want to take a look at, so you can quickly get to those by going in and looking at your saved trades. You can go in and look at your specific risk graphs directly by clicking on that. It will pick up the very last risk graph that you looked at. As far as saved trades, this is where you can go in and use Trade Cart, which I really like, and set your trade alerts. So if you want to go in and actually set trade alerts, you can do that here as well. So wanted to give you kind of an overview of the website where you can go and take a look at things. There's a lot of different individual searches that continue to get added here, worth taking a look at. And if you ever have a question, all you have to do is hit the contact us. It'll give you access to the email that you can send information if you have suggestions or questions that can't be answered through the help. The help has some pretty good information related to help guide, user guides, and how to specifically use Darknet as well. So hopefully that was a brief and overview for you that you can start to feel a little bit more comfortable in using the Tom's Trading Room. Thanks, guys. Have a blessed day.